I'm Diane Marshall, and I work with a large global evangelical mission organization. My role is split between being a leadership mentor and doing research, which I love, both those roles. Well, being part of a large global evangelical mission organization, I've had the privilege of watching how important it is for us to keep the focus on our purpose. And that is, in this case, to make and be disciples of Jesus in communities where he is least known. And so part of maintaining that focus is to do research, to hear what people are saying, to hear the stories. And so I was invited by leadership to look at diversity and gifting in the organization, but with a special focus on women in leadership and shared leadership. Organizationally, we want to fulfill our purpose the most effective way that we can. We want to see people flourishing, and these topics are very relevant for today. The research that we've been doing is very fresh, and so the findings, the conclusions, the recommendations are really only just being rolled out. And so I would say, as part of the journey, what we are learning now is we have the what of research, but so what and now what? And so that is what our senior leadership are wrestling with, working out a path forward. And that's always the process in a research paper like this. We don't want it to be left on the shelf. It's a working document to be used. And so those conversations have begun around how is it disseminated? What actions need to be taken? What change may be needed? And that's a conversation that will happen organizationally, but also in the multiple contexts in which we work. So how do senior leadership, how are they reacting? Right now, in that process of working out what it means to roll out the implications of work like this. Our research has particularly covered areas of ethnicity, of women in leadership, and of generational differences of age. And this is really important to be aware of this and how it's impacting and how we can use the diversity of an organization, the gifting that brings for God's purposes. And so the very process of asking questions, listening deeply to people's stories, hearing what people have to say, as well as hearing what the numbers have to say, and hearing what other organizations, other writers have written about these topics. As we bring these together, we've already begun a process of awareness. And so that brings in conversations that will continue. The research itself is not the end goal. Research is about stimulating, in our context, further conversations. It's really significant that one of the overall findings, a clarion call, was to listen. We need to learn to listen, and we need to listen attentively to God and to each other. And so research is part of that process, but we also need to enable the voices to be heard. That means a willingness to ask respectfully, to be willing to be asked, and also to tell our stories. And that's part of the ongoing journey that will continue beyond a paper that goes perhaps in a computer file somewhere on someone's desk or put away and forgotten.